All right, so I needed a form block of some sort. I had some scrap oak laying around, and that's what I used. Nothing special. And I, like I had indicated earlier, we're going to need two of them. We're going to need one for up here and one for over here. So if you remember, I drew this on the outside, and that's what I'm concerned with. So I took some paper patterns, or just some scrap paper, I guess. And this outside ring was, remember, this was the plate, this was the bowl. And then I just dug around the kitchen, found something that was smaller diameter, reasonably close. You know, I have 5/8 here. It's not truly that much smaller. I just need a portion of the arc. So I'm not, again, the whole idea here is not precision. You get precision in bending. You don't get precision in the actual jig used to bend. So I just kind of lined it up, knowing that, you know, the circle probably wasn't perfect, but I was able to get close to 5/8. I never even measured. I just kind of held it up and ballparked it. Same with this, held it up, ballparked it. Okay, so I drew these separate just to kind of show you. This was my original pattern here. And as you can see, kind of the same thing here. This was that inside circle, okay? So this became my wood pattern. And over here is that smaller one. Let me spin this around for you. So this was that pattern that was kind of here, okay? And I just figured, well, you know, I got to screw this thing down. It should be about that big, and this should be, you know, about that big. So knowing that I focused on layout on the outside, I just knew that I needed a straight edge here. This is going to come up to here, okay? And it's going to kind of slide down. You can see I made a pen mark here. This is the actual outline of the jig. This is going to go kind of about here. And of course, with aluminum, anytime that you bend aluminum, you're going to have some spring back. So I just knew that I'd have to follow this arc close, okay? And once I kind of entered into this perpendicular section, that I needed a little cut back. I need to be able to take this tube and bend it further so it would spring back. So, you know, again, it's nothing that precision here. I'm just sort of kind of making this up as I go, more or less. But I just knew that if this is truly 5/8, I needed to be in a little bit, okay? Now, obviously, I can't bend both at the same time, because if this is here and this is up here, I can't grab this thing and bend it with this still here. I need this open, okay? So my start point is, let me just move this stuff here. My start point is going to be up here. And if you look at the plan, that's going to be this area here of that front horizontal stabilizer. So this is where that jig block is going, and I'm extending it into this whole piece here, okay? So that's all I really did. If I forget this block here for now, let's look at this one. So I knew that I was square. I squared it up to here, right? Knew that I'm coming square. My whole layout is square, so therefore, obviously, I'm going to square it to here. So this leading edge is important. And that's that radius of that paper template. Okay, it's about 3-inch radius, somewhere close. I didn't really check it, but it's close. And you can see as I come across, I'm just hitting this point, and then this dives off, kind of irrelevant through here. So I just know that that tube, this will give me room to just bend it, okay? The most important thing that happens here is not so much the radius, not so much the bends. It's that there's two things. That I'm going to make two of these, and they need to be identical. That's step number one. Step number two is when I do bend this, and I put this in, and I bend this, I can't have a kittywampus part. I can't have this bend twist up and this one laying down. So I need them to be very flat along the bend. And so that's why I'm going to press this in against here and pull gently and keep everything flat. I don't want to have to try to fix it after it's riveted together. Anyhow, what I did then is I just took, this is just a piece of scrap. I pre-drilled some holes, and I set this thing in there. It's pretty tight. Okay. So I set that in, and I took this block, I held it up, clamped it, took a drill, screwed it. So that's it. I mean, that's where it's, that's tight. So I'm going to grab Let's push this down here. And I'm going to grab this thing and bend it. Before I do that, I'm going to fill it with sand. And I'll show you that step, I guess. Pretty simple, though. You just fill a tube with sand. And I'm just going to bend this. And I'll see if I can set the camera up. I'm using I have a Samsung Galaxy 5 that I use for a camera. So I'm holding it with my right hand and kind of showing you with the left side here with my left hand or whatever. And so I'll see if I can't set the camera up on some sort of a tripod and show you how that bends. There's nothing online on building the tail for the Illegal Eagle. This is the only thing is the videos I'm making. You'll see some websites, they show some pictures. They really don't show you anything. I mean, they don't, and obviously, I mean, most websites really don't for any airplane, but this is going to be pretty much the only complete, I guess, tutorial, if you will, on building the tail. The type of rivets are never really mentioned. If you go on some of these websites where people, track the progress of their build and whatnot, they don't talk about it much. They just basically show you kind of a picture of some parts and what it looks like when it's over. So this will be kind of neat for the guys that kind of want maybe a little more assurance on how this works. So hopefully it works out for you guys. That's it.